How good is the start?
It's a good start.
It's a great
Yeah,
start.
it's the first win.
And why do we play?
You play to win the game.
And what do we want?
I want winners.
I'm not bipartisan, I'm not bipolar, I'm not Biden.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. We talk football year round. If you are into that, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you believe that the injury to Jam Miller is going to change the trajectory of Alabama's 2025 season? Because I think it might, but perhaps not at the start of the season. When I woke up this morning and I learned, like you learned, that Jam Miller had suffered an upper body injury that required some surgery and will miss the Florida State game. One of the things that I wanted to do was, A, look at the depth chart once again, make sure I know what I know. Richard Young's still there. We'll talk about him in a minute. And B, look at how the public has so far seen that news. And when I went to go check with our friends at Bet Online to see what the spread was, still, as of Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, looking at Alabama as a 13.5-point favorite. I think this is interesting, given that Alabama is going into this game with one of its most inexperienced backfields in some time. When you combine, Ty Simpson hasn't thrown the ball that much, started just one game last year, or year before last, excuse me. And then you take into account that Jam Miller was your top returning tailback and expected to carry the load. I think that Jam Miller could have been the best tailback, or I should say, could have had the best year by a tailback at Alabama since Najee Harris in 2020. But that was based on him carrying the ball 145 times, 668 yards, and a few touchdowns, right? Justice Haynes obviously would have been that guy too, had he not transferred to Michigan, where he is expected to be the bell cow back. Now, the Tide are looking at their 5 scholarship tailbacks going, okay, Richard Young, you're up. Daniel Hill, you're up. Kevin Riley, you're up. We'll see what Louisiana transfer Dre Washington can do and AK Deer, but I'm curious about Richard Young because I've been curious about Richard Young for some time. This is a dude whose recruitment I've been following for, the better part of 5 years, I want to say, because he even was interested at one point in going to Florida A&M when it was clear that Willie Simmons had a vision and Deion Sanders had shown that Jackson State could turn an HBCU into a national, well, let's say talking point, if nothing else. Young, who rushed for 1,755 yards, 20 touchdowns as a junior in high school. I mean, there was little to no question about whether or not he was the best running back in the country coming out of Florida. And I'm looking at Lehigh Acres and what he was able to do in that 2023 class, being one of the top 5 running backs at his in that class and a top 100 prospect. I think the time is now for him, right? I think he runs hard. I think he's been looking for this opportunity. And I think if you're looking to hand the keys to one of these tailbacks, he's probably going to get the first choice. And who better to do it against than Florida State, a Florida State team that needs to get a W like this in the worst way. Alabama's going to enter this thing as a top 10 team, according to most, including me in my ultimate 136. But one of the reasons that I thought they were so good or going to be so good was Jam Miller and that defense that they carry through. The more that you look at Alabama's trajectory, the more it's got everything to do with Ty Simpson and throwing the ball to Ryan Williams. That's the other thing to note here. Had this been an injury to Ryan Williams and not Jam Miller, we might be talking about Alabama in different terms here. As it stands, it's it is a significant blow, right? It is not going to end your season. I think if Ryan Williams had gone down, we might be talking about what Alabama might need to do in as far as to salvage a season that's already not feeling too good. But given that Tommy Castellanos has already talked a lot of noise, the defense is already going to be fired up. Gus Malzahn likes to run the football, likes to run the quarterback, probably going to help you out eating the clock there if you need. But no program has had more college football playoff appearances than Alabama. No program has won more college football playoff games than Alabama. That's 8 and 9 for those of y'all keeping track. And the pressure's on DeBoer to make the playoff. When we created the college football playoff we thought they were going to make it, and they did most years. When we extended it to 12 teams, we thought they were shoo-in. It's almost like you would write their name somewhere in the bracket. So when they missed it in its first iteration, everybody looked at the first-year coach at Alabama and Kalen DeBoer and said, hey, I don't know that Nick Saban would let this kind of thing happen. Even right down to lobbying to get your team in. Like, you mostly got beat out by Southern Methodist, who had a better resume and a better record. But still, you're Bama, and your losses are to Vanderbilt, who happened to have a pretty damn good season, but you were the number one team. Tennessee, okay, we'll let that one slide. Oklahoma, that's pretty bad. And then Michigan. But you are loaded back up. Deontay Lawson's coming off of what I think is going to be a great year. You think Ty Simpson has the goods, if not the same leg talent, the ability to run around like Jalen Milroe. He can certainly deliver passes like Jalen Milroe. And you thought you were going to be pretty good at tailback. Now you've already taken one hit before the season starts. But I would ask Alabama fans to look at Texas last year. It was worse for them. Okay, 2 weeks out, you lose Jalen Miller. That sucks. Last year, preseason, they lost their best tailback, C.J. Baxter, and their third best tailback in Christian Clark. And they still managed to make the SEC championship game and get to the semifinals of the college football playoff. I think that is there for you if you're Bama. It's just, how is Ryan Grubb going to adapt the rushing attack, given that he's down not just a tailback, but his most experienced tailback? How much more are we going to see of Ryan Williams going out in routes, not in play action? I think everything's got to be predicated on the run, just so you can try to get that guy as many one-on-one opportunities as you can. But I don't think you're going to get that many. I would bracket him to start and then force Isaiah Horton or Cole Adams to try to make some plays. Make Ty Simpson beat me. If he can take what the defense is giving him up and down the field, you'll take that. But a new quarterback is going to make mistakes. Guys that have not touched the football a lot, like Richard Young, probably are going to make mistakes. And that's what the first week of college football really is about, limiting the mistakes. And by that, I just mean don't put the ball on the floor. Don't throw the ball to other people. If you can do that and score on 8 of your 10 drives, you're probably going to win the game going away. What you can't do is have a tailback that puts the ball on the floor, gives the other team, or have a quarterback that throws the ball to the other team and gives up one of your possessions really easily. Now, again, non-conferences, Florida State, Wisconsin, you should win both of those games. You can win both of those games, and most bettors believe that you will. But then you get that balanced breakfast from week 5 to week 13, which includes at Georgia, at Vanderbilt, at Missouri, versus Tennessee, at South Carolina, versus LSU, versus Oklahoma. By then, we'll know who is playing in the Iron Bowl for something more than pride, who might actually be playing for their job.